guys, welcome back to my channel, and happy Valentine's Day.
It's Brittany, bitch.
So in honor of Valentine's Day, I have challenged myself to read 3 romances for you. And as you may know, I'm not a big romance fan, and I used to be. And I was primarily one of my biggest genres I used to read as a teenager / young adult. It was one of my favorite things to read. So in honor of our love day, let's get started. For this Valentine's Day challenge, I'm gonna be reading 3 romance books. So the 3 romances I will be reading in this reading vlog are The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, My Favorite Half Night Stand by Christina Lauren. I know I'm repeating an author, I'm sorry, but it's the only romance author I could think of in a timely manner that I could get a book, okay? I'm sorry. And Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. So these are the 3 books I'm gonna be reading throughout this reading challenge. On to the first one. So I'm jumping right into the first book, and obviously it's Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which I've been looking forward to for like a year. I just haven't had the balls to actually request it because I just don't really like romance, and I'm afraid I'm not gonna like it, to be quite honest. But I'm actually 155 pages in, and I like it so far. I really like it a lot, actually. I feel like everyone and their mom has already read this book, but we're following Chloe Brown, and she's the eldest of 3 sisters, and their family is very riche and lives in a mansion, and it's based in England, so I really do appreciate some of the little English jabs here and there. Chloe almost gets hit by a car while she's taking her daily walk, and it prompts her to create a bucket list of things she'd like to do to get a life. And that's how the whole book starts. So she meets Red, and he's the superintendent at her new apartment, and they kind of hate each other, and I love it. They really don't like each other, and this is definitely a hate to love romance, and there's already been one steamy scene, even though it was like a masturbatory dream sequence. It was very well written. It was perfectly explicit, but it was very well done to where it wasn't like gratuitous and just felt like gross for the sake of being gross, like Sarah J. Maas. So I really love the perfect amount of like discretion and description and explicitness. And there's no other way to describe it, but just sometimes they're just really well done. And I know they're gonna be having some sexual relations later on, so I am very excited for how that's gonna turn out. This book has definitely been encouraging me to read, and I'm really enjoying it so far. And I know there's other things to come, but it's actually unfolding so well. It's like the perfect amount of like slow burn romance where they hate each other and they're kind of coming to terms with the fact that they both find each other very attractive and they like each other. And it's flowing really well. The pacing to me is great. It's slow enough where I'm getting to know the characters and their thoughts and their daily lives, but we're also moving forward with the plot and Chloe's list, basically. So far for Operation Valentine, this is going quite well, and I'm not hating a romance book. It's actually really well written, and I'm hoping this is gonna be 5 stars for me because I know a lot of other people have given it 5 stars. Even if I give it a 4, I'm gonna be happy because I've had a slew of 2 and 3 star books for like 5 months now. So I'm very ready for a 5-star read. All right, grab a blender, get your protein powder, your coconut water, your peanut butter, only Jif, your spinach, and a banana. Get that ice, blend it all up, and girl, you've got yourself one of Brittany's favorite smoothies. This is basically a healthier version of a smoothie from a place called Planet Smoothie where I grew up. This makes a perfect quick breakfast or an afternoon snack. As you saw from my earlier clip, I've been enjoying this smoothie. I know it looks green and really gross, but it actually tastes really good. And you know what I forgot to tell you? Put a little bit of collagen powder in there. Makes you keep you looking young. Okay, let's get down to business. So I finished Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and it was not the 5-star I wanted. I really enjoyed the romance between Chloe and Red. I thought it was a very cute, representative romance. I think that it perfectly embodied, you know, chronic pain from fibromyalgia. I've actually known quite a few friends that have this disease, and it's very painful. It's very sad to see someone go through that. And I appreciate the way that the representation held up. And Red is also going through basically PTSD from an abusive relationship, and how people treat him. And I think it was really well done. I really appreciate things were really well done, but all in all, I'm gonna give it 3.75 stars to be extra generous. I loved everyone's quirky personalities in this. I think they fit together really well, and I liked a lot of the banter between family members and friends. I also really enjoyed the dialogue. It was nice. I liked it. It was a little bantery, it was a little witty, it was a little funny, it was a little British. And I do enjoy a really good, healthy romance between people, and I think the strength for this really lies in the beginning, the first half, whenever they don't really like each other. I still don't really understand to me why they didn't like each other. I feel like that wasn't well founded. Not that of the hate was completely unfounded, but it just felt a little forced. Okay, let's go into some of the things I didn't like. As soon as the characters got together in this, I completely lost interest. I really did not give a shit. I think that the weight of this novel lies in the hatred, bantery beginning. Like, they really worked better when they didn't like each other and they had like a distaste for one another, and it just worked better. And I think as soon as they got together, it just didn't work for me, and I just didn't care about the romance. I didn't care about the relationship. I cared about the characters as a whole, but like them getting together, like I didn't like need that to happen. I wasn't rooting for that. My biggest thing was the graphic sex scenes in this, and I am not against graphic sex scenes whatsoever. But here it just felt so weird. It just didn't make sense. I felt like we were having a normal story and all of a sudden he would pull out the C word or the P word. And it just went straight to like dirty talk and like really dirty talk, and it just felt weird. It didn't feel like it belonged, and it just didn't fit these characters in my mind, and it just felt so forced. Like I just feel like the relationship was so forced between them. It didn't fit naturally for me. It didn't flow. And especially the sex scenes, it's not that I'm against them whatsoever. It's like, I just need them to flow in a story. It just felt like at the weirdest of times they would like get sexual and drop weird dirty talk words all of a sudden, like out of nowhere. Like, oh, they put the arm around their waist and then I want to play with your dirty It was uncomfortable, okay? If that makes you uncomfortable, think of how reading that is. Uncomfortable. Not to mention the ending was quite rushed, and it just did not need to be rushed at all. I feel like there were so many other parts in the book they kind of could have like let down or cut down a little bit and had a better ending. Like, it's not like the ending was bad. I like that like they didn't get married and have kids or whatever. Like, it ended in a really nice spot. I really liked the way it ended. I just wish the ending wasn't as rushed. It just felt rushed. I also didn't like that they had like a breakup like in the 3/4 bit that was like over some stupid misunderstanding. I really hate that trope, and it just really did not work here. And it definitely knocked it down a star for me, 100%. You know what? I would say it knocked it down a half a star, and then it gets the other like half and a whole star down for the weird graphic sex scenes that just didn't flow for me. I think all in all, I just didn't really get connected to these characters. I really liked the story and it was cute, but I'm actually more interested in the other sisters, and that's why I'm definitely gonna be continuing on in this series, and I've already requested Take a Hint Danny Brown. And I would love to read the third one that is currently on NetGalley, but I have a score of like 44% right now because I have 4 outstanding books I need to review. I just have not reviewed them because I'm dumb. So I don't feel comfortable in requesting it from NetGalley if I'm just gonna get denied, but I kind of want to like read those 4 books and then request it, but it comes out in like exactly a month, and I just don't know if I can read those 4 books in a month because I have so many other books planned for this month that are not those books. So all in all, I really liked it. It was good. It was really cute. It wasn't my favorite novel of the year, and it was not the 5-star I was expecting. On to the next one. So I already picked up Get a Life, Chloe Brown. The next one on my list is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, and I've already read a lot of it. I've not updated you in like 3 days. Like, I finished Get a Life, Chloe Brown like 2 days ago, and I'm almost done with this bad boy already. I couldn't help it. I've been really busy with work, and I'm so sorry I didn't update you sooner. But I'm 307 pages into this. 307! I'm hoping I can finish this tonight. We're gonna see. Maybe tomorrow morning. So, number 1. I like this way more than Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I'm just gonna say it. I'm so sorry. Please don't shoot me. I didn't expect this to happen, but I like it so much more. It just flows better for me. I like the romance. I'm rooting for them. So let me give you a little lowdown what this book is about. So we're basically following Olive and Ethan. So Olive has a twin sister named Amy who's getting married to this guy named Dane, and at their wedding, everyone gets this horrible like food poisoning. It's not actually food poisoning, by the way. Basically what happens is for certain seafood, if it like picks up toxins in the ocean, it's like a certain kind of toxin poisoning. So it actually poisons you for like months. So anyway, everyone else in the wedding party ate from the seafood buffet, and Olive and Ethan did not. Olive is allergic to shellfish, and Ethan does not eat from buffets, which is just really funny. So those two end up having to go on the honeymoon for their siblings, and they hate each other. And I really loved watching this come together. and it's just been working for me. It's been a very easy, fun read. I'm really enjoying it. It's already, to me, a 4-star. It could be bumped up to 5. I don't know how it's gonna end. I have no idea. There are some things in here that are just really funny, and I've actually been to Maui, which is where they go on vacation for their honeymoon. And so hearing them talk about places I've actually been is pretty cool, and I've really been enjoying this. Who knew? A lot of people say this one and autobiography are their favorites from Christina Lauren, and so far it's going to be true for me as well, because the other Christina Lauren I did not like at all. But I'm really enjoying this one, and also this is like the most gorgeous cover of any book. This is probably one of my favorite book covers like ever. It's so cute, and then the spine is this blue. It's just really pretty. So even if it wasn't like a 5-star, I definitely would like to own this just because it's so pretty to look at and I love it. I will say for this though, it is not steamy. Like Get a Life Chloe Brown had a lot of sex scenes, and I don't mind a lot of sex scenes like if they make sense in the story. Like I love a good sex scene, and I kind of wish they had more sex scenes, or at least the first time they have sex. Like I really wish it was more graphic, and then after that when they do it a couple more times, like it can just allude to it, which is fine. But I definitely like wanted to see between these two characters. I really wanted to see it more. I really enjoy them so far. I'm really liking them. I like them as characters. I'm rooting for their love story. I feel the connection, and I think a bit of that too is I really do enjoy the first person as a narrative instead of like third person, and Good Life Chloe Brown was third person. I don't like comparing books all the time, okay? I try not to, but I think that's the big difference between these two romances for me right now is I like first person better than third person. And so I'm hearing it all from Olive's perspective instead of like going between two people. I don't know. I kind of like just seeing it all through her eyes, and she doesn't know everything. And I kind of like that she doesn't know everything. And so there's a couple things that have surprised her, and I like that. So overall, I think I'm gonna finish this probably tonight or tomorrow, and I'll give you an update on this. But so far, this is turning out to be #1 on my romances I'm reading. So I ended up finishing The Unhoneymooners last night, which I figured I would. I'm happy to announce that it is my first 5-star of the year. Now, I know that it is technically only a 4.5 star. Why does she always leave right when I'm in the middle of talking? I'm gonna write it to a 5-star because that just makes sense for me. And I really did enjoy this. I really, really, really liked this, okay? I mean, I may even say I loved it, but like mild love, like a crush. I was really happy with most of this book, and I really liked our characters, Olive and Ethan, who are basically like complete enemies to lovers. And I really enjoyed their bittersweet romance. All the characters in this book actually felt very real for me, and I felt for them and hated things that were happening to them and rooted for them. And I finally got encapsulated in a book, because I know that that's my issue for a while, is that nothing is really making me dead to the world. And you know what I mean? Like when you get like really intensely into a book and you kind of block out everything else, and all of a sudden 100 pages go by, that's what happened for me here. I really liked that I actually cared for Olive and Ethan, and I wanted to see the relationship grow. I think my biggest gripes actually, there was not enough sexy time in this. And I'm not saying it has to be Talia Hibbert explicit. I'm just saying that I would like a little bit more. It was very alluded to, and it was like so mild. And I actually really could have used a little bit more sexy time, and maybe a more graphic sex scene, then you allude to it later. I'm just a little bit sad that we didn't get any really good sexy times. My other big frustration is like the epilogue should have been like 2 or 3 pages, and it should have ended on a single line that I think would be better. And in my Goodreads review, you can check out the spoiler there for the line that I think that would have been better if it just had ended there. It just continued on for 11 more pages, and I just kind of didn't care at that point. It just felt like over-explaining instead of showing me something I actually wanted to see after the fact. I mean, all in all, I was like pretty impressed with this, and I really liked the characters and their story, and it just worked for me. You know what? I'm glad I read it, and it was definitely better than Get a Life Chloe Brown. This is definitely in first place for this little reading challenge. I also forgot to give you an update on the next book I'm reading, which is My Favorite Half Nightstand by Christina Lauren. And you know what? I'm not particularly impressed with it so far. I'm not very far in, but I just don't care about the premise. I honestly just requested this because I wanted a romance for this challenge. I wanted to make a video about all the Christina Lauren books and rate them, but I need to read them to do that. So I am suffering through some of these for you. I don't really care about this premise. So we're with Millie, and she's like one of the guys, and she makes a pact with all of her guy friends. They're gonna find someone for their like big event coming up that Obama's gonna be at. And then they all start turning to online dating to find a date. And then that night, she hooks up with one of her guy friends named Reeds, and then they decide they'd be better friends than lovers. And then she basically catfishes the dude, and she falls for him, but I just don't care about the story at all. It just does not sound that exciting. And the fact that I can sum it up in 2 seconds and I've only read like 25 pages, I don't know if that's a good thing. It's dinner time. Get the tomatoes, feta cheese, basil, olive oil, pasta, and all your seasonings. We're making that delicious TikTok video that is viral, and let me tell you, I'm not gonna lie, this was actually really good, and I would definitely make it again. You know what? It was dang delicious, y'all. Just so you know, it is very cold outside, and I'm from California. I'm not used to 16-degree weather, and it has been snowing, and it says it feels like 5 degrees, which makes a lot of sense. As a fun aside, we went to Jack in the Box for a delicious breakfast sandwich and an iced coffee. Number one, we got there, the guy made fun of us for getting iced coffee in this weather. Iced coffee is appropriate for every weather pattern, okay? Number two, trying to get back to our house, which is up on a very large hill, proved to be like a 45-minute endeavor, so our food was cold. Yeah.
Look at my slippers. Oh, that's cold. Look at all the cars. Oh my god, my hands are frozen. Oh my god. Oh.
This. God, this was so bad. This was, without a doubt, I think the worst book that I've read this year. And I'm gonna give it a 1.5 stars. Okay, hear me out. This is the problem I have with Christina Lauren. I feel like in general, it's just like I love some of their books and other of their books really fall flat for me. So we're basically following Millie, who is friends with all of these guys, and she's kind of falling for one of her guy friends named Reed, and then she ends up catfishing him on a dating site, and it's literally the stupidest premise I've ever read. It is so boring. Every single character is flat and boring. I'm just bored out of my mind reading this. It had like no good plot either, because you already know what's gonna happen. He's obviously gonna find out that she's been catfishing him. He's gonna be upset. That was it. That's the whole freaking plot. And then they have all of these friends that are supposed to be like extra characters, but they felt like cardboard cutouts. Like, it was so boring. No one had a point. This had not even like a good plot. There was like nothing interesting that even fucking happened. Like, honestly, nothing happened in almost 400 pages. I literally feel like I just wasted my entire life. Like, this was so boring, and I actually almost DNF'd it, but I wanted to continue it for you guys. But I did skim through a few pages, because you would just read through most of the paragraph and you knew exactly what was happening. Like, there was no crazy surprises, nothing. Everyone was flat. It was completely boring. There was no plot. You already knew what was gonna happen. Catfishing is just unacceptable, and her reason for catfishing him makes literally no sense. So she was just upset that, like, on her profile that they all made, that she was getting a lot of dick pics, which, sweet, that's gonna happen on any dating site. Trust me, I was on almost every single one like 5 years ago, and it happens every single time. It doesn't matter what's in your bio. It doesn't matter what pictures you put up. You're gonna get them, and you're gonna get the creepy weirdo assholes, okay? It's just gonna happen. And her reasoning for making the new profile was to get less of those, and then she uses a different name and then puts a different bio. Like, that literally made no sense. She could have just gone back and put a new bio and edited hers, because they were saying that hers was boring. You could have just edited your fucking bio on your same page. You're not gonna get any less dick pics with a different picture and name. Trust me. Listen, making a new profile is really not gonna help you out in any way, shape, or form, okay? Because you can just delete those old messages and block them, and then change your bio, and then put in some new pictures. Voila. It's basically a new profile. There was no reason for her to make it. And he didn't put it together that it was her until like almost the very end, when it was plot convenient. And it just made no sense to me. Like, it honestly made no sense, and I hate it from the beginning. Not to mention, when we first like start the book, we start with like 8 different characters to try to memorize, and like we started such a weird space. I just feel like we should have started somewhere else in the book. So it already started off in a really bad way for me. It just started off with like them at game night, and then all of a sudden the next chapter she's having sex with her like best friend. You're telling me that 2 years of you guys being friends, you never thought about it or whatever? I mean, it's just weird. It just felt so frustrating. Like, this book should not have even been written. I honestly have no idea how it was published. Sorry to burst your bubble. I'm equally very disappointed, because I just wanted a nice, easy read, and it was a struggle to read this for you. I almost DNF'd it, but I mean, it wasn't like it was bad writing. I like the writing, it's easy for me to read. It's just boring. I skipped over a lot and I skimmed it because it just had no relevance. The fact that I could skip so much of a book and still get it is sad. I think this was very successful. I'm just definitely frustrated that it ended on such a bad note, and it's actually Valentine's Day, so I'm actually kind of sad because I really wanted to end Valentine's Day on a really beautiful romantic note, especially since I can't go outside. This would be the perfect day to read. And I almost went to go pick up another one of the romances I know that came in from my library, but since it's so hard to get to the library right now because of the snow, unfortunately that's not happening. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, you guys. I'll talk to you guys all soon. Like, subscribe, join the tribe. Talk to you later. Bye.